peeps, it's your favorite manifesting cousin, Neira, and welcome to the Manifest with Me podcast, where we'll be discussing all things mindset, manifestation, and money, with a little ratchet behavior in between from time to time. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to check out my website, www.neirathegoat.com. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Neira the G.O.A.T, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Neira_X. I also have a manifestation course that will be available soon entitled Manifest with Me, Where Thoughts Become Things. This is the absolute ultimate manifestation course where we'll go over paradigm shifting, overcoming limiting beliefs, going over what manifestation actually is and how it works. I'll also be helping you to understand your relationship with money and so much more. This is perfect for anyone who's just coming into the awareness of manifestation or for those who may feel a little stuck in their journey. Pre-sale is officially available and the link will be in this episode's description. I'm so happy that you've decided to take a moment to listen to this podcast. And at the very least, I hope you're able to pull out some gems. And if nothing else, I hope that something that I say at least makes you smile. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. Hey peeps, welcome back to the Manifest With Me podcast. I am so excited for episode 3. Episode 3 is entitled Miracles, Signs, and Wonders. I'm so excited to discuss this with you guys. It's kind of how I've chosen to live my life. And I'm always looking for the miracles, signs, and wonders of life. They keep me encouraged. A lot of the times they are confirming that which I'm already trying to manifest or that which I already know. So I'm always looking for miracle signs and wonders. And I'm so excited to get into this episode with you guys. So let's just hop right in. So a while ago, I decided that I wanted to live a life of expectancy. I wanted to live a life expecting good, amazing, miraculous things to happen in my life on a daily basis because I believe in God and I believe that God can do all things. Like, I believe that God is in all, be all, do all. It's just God is all in all. You know what I mean? So I was looking and I am still looking every day for miracles, signs, and wonders to be evident and present, not only in my life, but in the lives of others. And I decided that I was not going to overlook the small things as much as possible because I feel like it's oftentimes we can overlook what we may deem as small. And I feel like when you aren't mindful of the small miracles that are happening in your life, it kind of makes you a little ungrateful, and we all know that being in gratitude to the things in this life only puts us away it pushes us away from vibrational alignment. It pushes us away from being a vibrational match to the things that we say that we really want. So I dedicated my life to being super intentional about living with an expectancy of seeing good things. And I have been able to manifest and see so many amazing things. So, as you guys know, I have a little puppy named Buddy. And I love going on walks with him. And my cousin always jokes with me because my dog is pretty little. And she's like, it's so nice that you really take Buddy on intentional walks because a lot of people get little small lap dogs and they feel like they don't need to really exercise or they don't need a long activity. But I enjoy taking a walk with Buddy because I'm low key a nature girl. So in the neighborhood that I live in Georgia, it's so much different from Louisiana. Like you might fuck around and see an alligator in someone's backyard where I was living previously, but here there's so many other forms of wildlife that you encounter. The birds are so different. Like just in my neighborhood alone, there are so many different types of birds that I see on a regular basis. So, if you're into the woo-woo shit like I am. Everything has its meaning. Everything has its place in spirituality. So, certain birds mean certain things, certain animals mean certain things, certain fucking plants mean certain things, and I am always looking for the deeper meaning of life, even on my 10-minute morning walk with Buddy. So, when we first moved here, the kids were outside playing and they went all the way down to the cul-de-sac. And I'm upstairs in my bedroom and I hear them yelling and screaming and hauling ass back to the house. Mommy, 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 we saw a deer. So, ever since they've seen the deer, by the time I came outside, they probably made so much noise the deer wasn't there anymore. And ever since that happened, I leave out of my house every time I go to walk Buddy with the expectancy of seeing a deer. Haven't seen one yet, but I have seen some other really amazing things like some days I'll go outside and I'll see a butterfly and it'll be a color pattern on it that I've never seen before. Or sometimes I'll go outside and I'll walk across a white feather. And what we know about butterflies are they mean like transformation. What I know from my own spiritual practices, like if you see a white feather, it represents a guardian angel. And recently I've been seeing this fucking Peter Cottontail bunny in my yard. I've seen him like 3 or 4 times over the last couple of weeks. Like, no lie. I low key want to name him. I low key want to just keep him, but I don't need another animal. I have enough time with Buddy and my children. But I have in my spiritual practices, I also know that bunny rabbits are a sign of abundance, of good luck. And it gets me so excited whenever I see it because some days I've seen it when I'm like, not feeling at my highest vibration. And then other days I feel it when I know that I'm vibing high. You know what I mean? So some days they come as a form of encouragement. These miracles and signs, they come as a form of encouragement. Some days they come to confirm. Either way, I'm just super grateful that I am aware of what's happening. You know what I mean? Because we can get so caught up in our everyday lives, like the hustle and bustle of work, got to do this, got to be here, that we miss it, especially when it comes to nature. A lot of us probably aren't spending as much time as we might have spent outside when we were children. And I would encourage you, if you're listening to this, to spend more time outside. Get off of your phone, get away from the television, get away from your computer, and spend more time in nature because a lot of the time, the answers that we're looking for our problems are being confirmed all around us all the time. We are just too caught up and distracted to realize it. Um, Something that's really important to me is a ladybug. When I was a little girl, I would go into my grandmother's formal living room. She didn't really like us in there, but my grandmother was kind of cool because I knew that she knew that me and my sister would sneak in there. But I would sneak in there and stand on the couch, which was the back of the couch was right underneath the windowsill. And I would stand on the back of the couch and I would look out the window, and there were always ladybugs in the windowsill. And I would just sit there and play with them. I always thought that ladybugs were super fascinating. Um, and whenever my grandmother passed away, it was so strange. I came home from the hospital that night and I was in my bathroom crying. And at the time, my bathroom was connected to my bedroom, right? So it wasn't like there was an outdoor anything. But I'm in the bathroom, I go and take a shower and I'm crying or whatever. And I get out of the shower and I look over to the windowsill and there was a ladybug. And every time I see them, it just reminds me of her and it makes me feel like I am protected, that I'm not alone, that everything is going to be okay. All those feelings that my grandmother made me feel. And I'm sure if you're listening, there's some sort of animal or something that reminds you of a loved one or something that gives you peace and solace in a situation that could be chaotic or unsettling. And I just think that nature is so fucking cool, dude. Like, like my friends laugh at me all the time, but like the older I get, the more I'm just getting more in tune with the Holy Spirit. And again, like I live with the expectation of seeing things. So I'll tell you another quick story before I move on to my next thing. But about a week or two ago, I was outside walking Buddy, and I had walked him down to the cul-de-sac where I live, and then I was walking back and I stopped in front of the tree that is in front of my house. And I stood underneath the tree. A lot of times I do like grounding exercises, and I don't know if you're familiar or not, but like to grounding is just like taking your shoes off and standing in the grass and connecting with nature and just kind of like releasing whatever negative energy or whatever you have back into the earth. And it's a really cool exercise. I know it's like super woo woo and like really hippie, but like if you get down with the get down and you're listening to this, you're probably into that type of shit anyway. So you should try it if you haven't. And if you do already, kudos to you. But anyway, I walked back and stood underneath the tree in the front of my house. And as I'm standing there, Buddy's like laid out in the grass. And I have a really big tree. And I wasn't standing directly underneath it, but kind of like backed up to where the branches were kind of like cascading over the back of my head, but they weren't touching me. So the wind started to blow, and I'm just standing there enjoying the weather, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the fact that the leaves are blowing in the wind and stuff. And all of a sudden, I swear to you, it felt like those branches that were like behind me just surrounded me. Almost as if the tree was giving me a hug. And it's so fucking crazy because, like, right now on TikTok, there's this trend that if you stand under a tree and you ask it to hug you, that the leaves and the branches end up touching you. I promise you, it's the funniest thing ever because I sent this long text message about this story to my friends, and they were all like, here she goes. But then, like a couple of weeks later, I see it's a thing that's trending on TikTok. So, anyway, the tree hugged me, is all I'm trying to get to. The damn tree hugged me, and I thought it was sweet. And I said out loud, what are you trying to tell me? And I kid you not, out of nowhere, at one of my neighbors' houses, this song just started playing. I believe in you, and you believe in me. And I was freaking out because literally no one was outside. No one was outside, y'all. It was the craziest supernatural, like nature experience I've ever had in my life. And I know it sounds so crazy saying it again, but it really happened. And I had to go and look up the song. I don't want to waste too much time, but I feel like I have to tell y'all shit. Anyway, I'll put it in the description box, the name of the person that sings the song. But the funny thing about it is that part of the song doesn't happen until later in the song. And it's like, where did this audio just come from? And I just felt so comforted in that moment because, you know, transitioning from being in a semi-corporate job, I guess you could say, to entrepreneurship, there is a lot of self-doubt that can creep up within you. And I wasn't sad or anything like that, but it was just a moment to me that God, source energy, the creator, whatever you want to call it, was confirming to me like, girl, you got this, and you believe in me and I believe in you, and we got this together. Like, it'll be fine. And I just like, oh my gosh, y'all, like it was really one of the coolest experiences I've had in my life that I'll probably take to my grave. But anyway, another way of living in the expectancy and wanting to see miracle signs and wonders. I don't know if you've experienced this or not, but a lot of times I see synchronicities in numbers. um it could be 777 on the back of someone's license plate, or 1111 on a clock, or my total at the grocery store is 2222. um I have been experiencing number synchronicities probably for the last like 6 or 7 years. So this isn't anything that's new to me, but still, every time I see it, it always makes me feel really good. It reminds me that, Neira, what you're doing, you're on the right track, or what you're going through right now is only temporary. It's the fact that, to me, there are no coincidences. Like, there are no coincidences that you would see a bunny rabbit when, like, no one else is outside to even see it. There is no coincidence that you would have a particular total. And when you get into other woo woo shit like numerology and all of that stuff, you can go into the meanings a little bit more in depth of what all these numbers mean and what they could mean to you if you have a personal connection to them. But that is another miracle sign and wonder that I'm always encountering. And I know that a lot of people encounter it too. So I just hope that that encourages you, like it encourages me. So I guess one would ask or think, even when it comes to being committed to living with an expectation of seeing good things, what happens when you're just not seeing it? What happens when it's like you want to wake up and be in such a great mood and you want to see something great, but you fucking stubbed your toe when you got out of bed, and then you got to your car in the garage and your tire was flat, and then from there it's just like a downward spiral, it seems like, in a day. And I want to encourage you all to know that, everybody goes through those days. Like, no one's day is always fucking perfect. Not even me. As positive as I can be and all of this shit that I know and I practice on an everyday basis, I still have moments where I'm like vibing kind of low. Some days versus other days. And the best way to get yourself back into, and I'm going to say this a lot in not every podcast, but like many of my podcasts, many of my social media posts, many of my YouTube videos. Listen, gratitude is the key to everything. Gratitude is the breath of life. No, seriously though, gratitude is really the key of everything. And even if you consciously are aware of wanting to have an expectation of seeing the goodness of God and the goodness of creation in all things, you're still gonna have days where you're a little off. And the best way to kind of get yourself back into alignment is by cultivating gratitude. So, like yesterday, for instance, oh God, I woke up, I was in such a fucking mood yesterday, and I don't know where it came from because the day before was like great. I had like the Saturday before, over the weekend, I spent time with family. I went out to dinner with family. Sunday, I went on a date. It went great. But for whatever reason, when I woke up with a case of the Mondays yesterday. And I was just in this shitty ass mood. And I had got up, like, I didn't work out. I didn't really feel like working out. And just like everything that I tried to do, it just wasn't really working out that well. I was trying to cook some chicken stew. I burned my roux. It was absolute trash. But I didn't feel like going back to the store. And I had already like dropped the chicken. And it was just a mess. And my cousin was coming over to visit, and I was like, I have got to like shake this shit before my cousin gets over here, because when you're kind of known as the person to kind of uplift everybody else, you gotta sometimes live up to the expectation. I don't always live up to the expectation, but I try to like be mindful of the role that I play in other people's lives. So, I went outside with for a walk with Buddy. We walked a little, and as I was walking, I just began to give thanks for everything that I saw. I was saying, I'm so happy and grateful to have a puppy to walk. And I'm so happy and grateful for the ability to even walk. I'm so happy and grateful that even though it's a little cloudy outside, it's not as hot, it's kind of cool. And I'm so happy and grateful for all of the trees and the leaves and the flowers and everything else. And really, it's not even just about saying these things and recognizing them, but really like getting yourself into the feeling of it, which helps to put you back into that high vibe, into vibrational alignment, And I was again able to continue to carry out living with the expectation of something good. And then my cousin and her little baby came over here, and they just like put the icing on the cake for me. It was amazing. And I woke up this morning feeling like refreshed, juvenated, super ready, and I had so much enthusiasm to get up and to get my shit done a day. And I also too like make a commitment to myself that I only give myself a certain amount of time to fucking wallow in my sorrows. Like, bitch, you only got today. And sometimes it ain't even a whole day, ma'am. You have another 30 minutes before you have to like get back up and put your shit on. And please believe me, I'm not saying that you should just bypass your feelings, because you do have to feel your feelings and you got to sit in them sometimes. But you can't allow those lower vibrational feelings to overtake you to where it's interrupting what you know you need to do, right? And I kind of went off a little bit, but whatever. So anyway, maintaining a state of gratitude helps you to stay in that expectation of seeing miracle signs and wonders happen in your life. Another good practice is always looking for good news. I listen, there are people that scroll social media looking for the tea, that scroll social media looking to see what's happened with this person and what's happening with that person, because they like to gossip and talk about it. And I mean, every now and again, we all find ourselves falling into engaging in those types of conversations. But I am a person that literally loves to see other people win. I understand that it's not going to always be my season. And I'm cool with that. But when it's not my season, when it's my season to kind of like grind it out, to hustle, to maybe have to work more in my masculine energy, please trust and believe my hands are always ready to clap for other people when they're in their winning season. It is the most encouraging thing to see people that you know doing good shit. It's so encouraging to see people that you don't know doing good shit. And for me, it's always been super inspiring. Like, I've never had I don't really think I've ever had the adverse effect of when good things are happening to other people to think like, oh my God, why isn't it happening for me? Like, no, I really live by the little phrase, like, if your neighbor is getting blessed, then that means that God is on your block. You know what I mean? On your block passing out blessings. And it ain't nothing for God. It ain't nothing for the big G to spin the block. You know what I mean? And come by and drop a blessing for you. So being able to be happy for other people when they're winning, when they've got amazing things going on, is a part of living with expectation. Because when you can live in the state of expectation, I think you kind of understand that this world is not just about me. Like, it is all of the other people along with me that allow this life to be so great, um that allows so many things to just happen, and we all play a role in it, you know. So they use the analogy in the Bible about the body of Christ, and how like pretty much like the finger don't have nothing to do with the finger has something to do with the hand, but the function of the finger is not necessarily the function of the hand. So, in this time space reality, we all have different functions. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to see other people, and we should be able to allow those things to encourage us in our journey of living with the expectancy of seeing miracle signs and wonders all the time. I've had some really cool ass shit happen to me. Like, I had and I'm getting ready to post the YouTube video, and maybe I'll make a podcast about it later, but I had student loan debt canceled like out of nowhere. A $6,700 loan that I took out in like 2008 canceled last year in 2021. So I be having all kind of crazy ass shit happen to me. Like, I had last week I had like $4,000 deposited into my account, but I didn't even realize it was a secure credit card that I ended up closing out. And I thought that the secured balance on the credit card was $2,000. It ended up being $4,000, and I was able to get like a $1,700 refund on it. And I wasn't even expecting that. I'm always expecting more money, honey. Let me rephrase that. And God source energy, listen, I'm always expecting more money. But what I'm saying is, it was something that literally just came out of the blue for me. So I think that whenever you take the time out and you're intentional about living in a state of expectancy and always looking for the better continues to be attracted to you. The better continues to be attracted to the people around you. And you are what you think. You are what you constantly think, what you constantly ponder and meditate on. So I think it's really a good practice for us to be intentional about living in a state of expectancy, because if we can live there in the mind, then that's exactly what we'll experience in the body. So I hope that this episode has been encouraging to you. I hope that maybe some of these stories were uplifting. And if you're struggling in any of these areas, just take some of these practices and apply them to your life. Go on a fucking walk, dude. Get out in the grass, ground your little feet, ground your toesies, and become one with nature. But again, always look for the good, because you always look for the good. When I say, like, people be paying for my coffee and shit. Oh, that happened last week too. Oh, let me tell you real quick. So real quick before I let y'all go for real, because I was about to end the podcast episode, but I just remembered this. So I'm single, right? And being on the other side of being married and already having children, my expectations in the dating world, I don't know. Some people might say my standards are a little extra, but I kind of feel like if you live your life with high standards, then you limit all of the lower situations and experiences that you can have. So the higher the standards you set, the less chances you are of having shitty experiences, right? So with me being single, it's like I have a certain type of treatment that I'm expecting of a partner. And even though I don't wear that on my sleeve or talk about it out loud, it's something that I kind of know within myself, me and God. And I'm sitting outside. Well, I go to Starbucks last week. Matter of fact, this was the day that I launched the first episode of the Manifest with Me podcast. And I was so excited because, like, the emails had went out. People were starting to listen to it. I was super excited, really vibing high. Like, I had got to fucking put my makeup on. I had a little dress on and everything, child. I was looking good. So I go to Starbucks, and for the last couple of weeks, they have this new pineapple refresher that has come out for the summer. And every time I try to order it, it's not there. So this particular day, I go in there, I'm vibing high. What do they have? The pineapple refresher. So I get it with lemonade, super excited. And when I walked in, I saw that there was this gentleman sitting down. And I looked at him and I was like, damn, he could be my husband. But I have crazy thoughts like that. Now y'all really getting into my business and into my mind, whatever. So I looked at him, I was like, damn, he could be my husband. I love him. But I just had the thought and I kind of let it go. I went and ordered my drink. Well, I ended up sitting down next to him because, go figure, I get to Starbucks and my computer was in charge, so I needed to sit inside. I prefer to sit outside though, by the way. So I sit down next to him and I got my little playlist on. I'm jamming. I'm in my own zone. I'm super excited. It's a great day or whatever. And I could kind of feel him looking at me, but I'm really not even like trying to give him attention like that, because this ain't about you right now. Like, this ain't even about you right now. This is me really living in the expectation of greatness. And I'm really having a great day, right? So anyway, um, leave. I was there for a few hours. He was still there working. I left. The next day, I go there. And I got there kind of early. So I had already had my coffee. I was sitting outside working. And he walks back to go into the store, and then he opened the door and then he closed it and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, how did you enjoy that yellow drink that you had yesterday?" I said, "Oh, it was good. Like, my favorite refresher is the kiwi, but they discontinued that one and I've been trying to get this pineapple one." I'm telling him the whole story or whatever. And he's like, "Would you like me to buy you one today?" And I was like, "Yeah." Y'all, first of all, if you know me, baby, give me a Starbucks gift card so I know it's real. Like, if there is anything that Neira the G.O.A.T loves, baby, it's a Starbucks gift card. And if you're listening to this podcast episode and you want bless your good sis, please send me my Starbucks gift card. But it was so kind because he's a stranger, right? And he ended up getting the drink, introducing himself and everything, and we talked, and it was all good. It was no like strings attached. It was just a damn Starbucks drink. But this is my point. Like, it's super important for you to set that expectation of how you live your life. Not only the signs, miracles, and wonders that you want to see, but also like set the expectation of how you want people to treat you. Set the expectation of how you want your life to go. Set the expectation of how you want your career to go, what you want your home life to go. You are the co-creator of your life. So if the shit ain't going how you want it to go, you're the only person that has the power to change that. And even though that guy, we've been talking, if y'all must know, we have been texting each other. But like, even if nothing comes from that, for me, that moment solidified, like, this is why you have to live with the expectation. Because if you don't, then you'll just get any kind of treatment. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy that God reminded me of that while I was talking, because as it's a reminder to me, it's a reminder and maybe a light bulb to you all. Like, it is so important that we have an expectation, because if we don't have an expectation of how we want our lives to go, if we're not living with the expectation of greatness, then that means that we're just kind of coasting through life on autopilot, which gives um life the authority to kind of throw whatever at us at any moment in time, and we kind of just have to take it because we didn't set the tone for how we want our lives to go, you know. Ooh, that was good, y'all. Ooh, thank you, Holy Spirit. That was good. So, anyway, guys, I want you guys to continue to vibe high. Do whatever it is you have to do to vibe high, meditate, pray, exercise, eat right, hang out with friends that actually love you. Put yourself in environments where the people are actually celebrating you and you can celebrate them. Create that environment of expectation, whatever that looks like for you, and live that shit out every fucking day. I love you guys so, 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 so much. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Please give me a 5-star rating if you don't mind. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your favorite part of the podcast was. What's something that stuck out to you that you want to carry with you. If there are any topics that you want me to discuss that I haven't gone over yet, please feel free to shoot me an email at info@neirathegoat.com or DM me on Instagram at Neira_X. Don't forget to sign up for my course that I got going on. The link is in the bio. And always remember, guys, what you're seeking is seeking you too. I love you all so much. Love, peace, and light. Happy manifesting. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you are still interested in signing up for the Manifest with Me digital course, pre-sale is still available. I will link the website in the show notes. If you can, please give me a 5-star rating on this episode. I love to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment, send me a DM. If there's something that you want me to talk about, I'd be so happy to do that. Peace, love, and light. Happy manifesting.